Well, hello and welcome to the Glasgow Rangers Nation Sunday Supplement, your daily Rangers news channel, guys, here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. We currently sit on 3,877 total subscribers. I'd love to get another 123 before or on the 31st of December to roll into the new year on 4,000 subscribers. Guys, there's a lot of people watch this channel who are not yet subscribed, so please help us hit our target of 4K subs. Hello, welcome, guys. So, look, we've got some things to obviously think about after yesterday's performance against Dundee. We're going to reflect a little bit on Dujon Sterling. We're going to reflect a bit on Abdalah Sima. We'll have a quick reflection on the game, look at the table. We're going to reflect on Cyril Dessers, and we're going to have a little look, obviously, ahead obviously, till Thursday. This is a huge week, isn't it? It's a massive week, and leg one is down. Leg one of three is down. We are one win. We are 2 wins away from the perfect week, and that's what we need. 3 wins. So on the 18th of December, we're sitting there. Not only still in contention in the league, but through to the Europa League knockout stages, and obviously with silverware in the trophy cabinet. That's what we need. That's what we're aiming for. Rangers today lined up like this, with obviously the usual 4-2-3-1 formation. Changes made due to injuries. Changes made also due to player availability. Now, no doubt, Butland in goal again, I thought had a very good game, played very well again, pulled off some fantastic saves. He's just an absolute superstar. And like I've said on numerous videos now, the fact we have the best defence in Scotland is not down to the defenders, it's down to Jack Butland. Tav, I thought, was solid, an assist and a goal again today. A good solid performance. Well done, Tav. John Souttar, I thought, had a few dodgy moments though. That was worrying me, that John Souttar had a few very dodgy moments in this game. He brought the ball out well, but really did fail to kind of show Philippe Clement that he is perhaps the heir apparent, the guy who needs to replace Connor Goldson long term. I thought that Mr. Balogun was rock solid yet again, absolutely rock solid. Quality again. For a guy who's only 36 years old, he is just different class at the moment, doing very well. But Borna was poor today, sloppy in possession. I think he's probably coming back from an injury. Crossing wasn't great. He kept turning around and going backwards again, the frustrations of Borna. Thought Lunny worked hard today. Lundstrom really does seem to be one of the most improved players under Philippe Clement now. I know an area of that could be that he's trying to get a new deal. And once he gets his new deal, he could go back to his bad old ways. I do know that. But you've got to hope that it's perhaps solely down to the fact that Philippe Clement has given him a bit of responsibility, given him a bit of leadership, and he's kind of loving that and really taken that on board. Cifuentes, unlucky to be sent off. We'll talk about the Cifuentes sending off shortly. Sima was just class. And that's as much I'm going to say for now, because I do want to talk about him in this video. Cantwell did well until he was unfortunately obviously had to be tactically substituted due to the sending off. Worked hard, looked lively. Matondo, he's coming back. He started to get better as the game went on. Was subbed at half-time for McCausland, who did really well when he came on. Very direct, breath of fresh air, Ross McCausland. Cyril Dessers got his goal. He worked hard. He still looks sloppy around the area, and that chance that he had when he robbed Shaughnessy of the ball and was in on goal, he just, for me, lacked conviction, lacked confidence, lacked anything in there. Obviously, Cyril got his goal. I think credit to him for his goal. He did work hard today. Let's give him. Look, he does get absolutely slaughtered, and look, I'm as guilty of anyone as absolutely slaughtering him. Do I think he's good enough for Rangers? No, I don't think he's good enough for Rangers, and he isn't high enough quality for us. Yet he scored today, but there's just other moments that he just looks sloppy. He just doesn't look like he is a class enough act for me. He got his goal, obviously, with good work. Tried with the right foot, was blocked, but hunger to keep going. Shot from the left foot, deflected up into the roof of the net, obviously to bring us back on terms. So credit to Cyril for that. Like I said, he's all right. He did okay today, but he's still, I don't think, of a sufficient standard for Rangers. Like I said, too many sloppy moments, too many lacks conviction. You just feel that, that chance, for example, when he robs Shaughnessy, goes in on goal and just loses the ball. I think the shot's blocked or saved. I can't remember now off the top of my head. And you just feel if that falls to Abdalah Sima, or even to Ross McCausland, there's only one place that's going to end up, and that's in the back of the net. Even someone like Cantwell, again, it's going to end up in the back of the net. So look, at the end of the day, he did all right. He's probably about a 6 out of 10 today, but he still does lack the sufficient quality, I believe, to be a Rangers player. there was an awful lot of talking points from yesterday's game. And you've got Michael Stewart, who's just an absolute tool on BBC Scotland, talking about the fact that it was a soft penalty. It was a soft penalty, and he's saying that Seymour was yanking Donnelly's shirt. I think there was an element of them both pulling it. That's what Doherty, the Dundee manager, was moaning about. But the fact remains, that whatever happened with that, if you pull someone's shirt in the box, you run the risk of giving away a penalty. Now, look, I didn't play to any high level. I never did. I played, kids football. I played juniors football. I played university football and so on. But even as a defender, I knew you kept your hands off your opponent. The moment you grabbed hold of your opponent's shirt, you risked giving away a foul or a penalty in the opposition or in your own penalty area. It's basic football knowledge. And you can call it a soft penalty. Yes, it probably is a soft penalty, but there's no such thing as a soft penalty. It's either a penalty or it's not a penalty. There's not a hard penalty. So why is there a soft penalty? At the end of the day, should referees be giving all these penalties for tugs? There's two arguments to this. By the pure rules of the game, yes, they should. By standards of football, no, they shouldn't. By the fact of trying to make football into a contact sport, no, you shouldn't. But unfortunately, football does seem to be heading the way of becoming a non-contact sport. And Kenny Miller was right when he's talked about the fact that after the refereeing performance and some of the decisions today, he doesn't know what the game's coming to. That sort of links nicely into the Jose Cifuentes sending off. Now, look, yeah, he catches him there. But if you actually and it looks worse in a still picture, of course it does, with where his foot is. But if you watch that back and you actually go back over it and watch it in slow-mo, watch it at real time, there's no intent to injure the player. Now, for it to be serious violent conduct, there needs to be intent in the challenge to cause player injury or to be out of control. I think that's the wording of the rule. My memory serves me to when I did my refereeing qualification. It needs to be out of control. Now, at no point is Cifuentes out of control. At no point is he setting out to deliberately injure Bakayoko. That is a yellow card. If I was refereeing that game, which I wouldn't be allowed as a Rangers fan, but if it was, if it was Dundee versus Hibs game or a Dundee versus Hearts game, then that was Alex Lowry doing that, or that was, was it Motherwell v Dundee, Lennon Miller, is it? I don't know. Or Connor Barron or someone like that for Aberdeen. I would not be sending them off. I'd be giving them a yellow card, And then what gets me a little bit, and this is kind of, feeding into the paranoia we seem to be suffering from. We do suffer from a little bit of paranoia, but it does kind of feed the paranoia. You listen to Michael Stewart and some of the others talk about the penalty to Rangers again and get their hair off about it and go into meltdown over it. But at no point do they mention that tackle. At no point do they mention the Cantwell goal that was ruled out for literally absolutely nothing. Now, I've watched that back again. I've taken it right back and pinpointed, obviously, what the referee gave the free kick for. And the referee gives the free kick for a foul by Cyril Dessers on a Dundee player. If you watch it back and you actually watch in real time and in slow-mo, the player is going down before Dessers even touches him. So for it to be a free kick is utterly ludicrous. And if you watch the actual build-up to the goal, bar one, all the Dundee players are playing on. No one has stopped playing. The Dundee defence have not stopped playing. The goalkeeper has not stopped playing. And Cantwell's finish is brilliant. There is no reason why that goal should have been ruled out. And I think Philippe Clement kind of was hinting at that in his post-match press conference that he gave. He was very clever with his response to the red card, that he talked about what Jose had said, and he said he wanted to watch it back before giving a judgment on it, which I think was very sensible of him. It's not doing what some managers do, which is going in the heat of the moment and whinging and crying and moaning. Doherty, Robson, etc., etc. So that was very clever of him. There were some genuinely awful decisions in this game, and Doherty, who's the Dundee manager, said, in his interview that he thought Kevin Clancy had a good game. I think you're in a minority of one there, my friend. It was a dreadful game for Kevin Clancy today. Absolutely dreadful indeed. Let's move on to talk about Abdalah Seymour, because I wanted to talk about Abdalah. He was the boy on he's the boy on the thumbnail today. Abdalah was absolutely phenomenal yet again today. He is different class, this boy. It wasn't just the work that he did in the attacking areas. It wasn't just his goal that he scored today. That fantastic header, the cross from Tavernier is perfect and out. Isn't it interesting? We start outswinging the corner and we start generating more opportunities and we start generating more chances to score than all those in-swingers. Weird that, isn't it? Anyway, great outswinging corner from Tav. Seamer rises, leaps like a salmon, header on it. Great header, great goal. And, I think if you go back to the Donnelly foul on him, you probably would have had the similar sort of result had he not been fouled. So, a great finish by Abdalah Seamer. The post celebration, you can see, the whole sort of matador-esque bow and the tapping of the crest and everything like that. You can tell he loves being here. You can tell he loves playing for Rangers and that he's really into it. And for me, we've got to sign him up. He's got to be signed up. And I know he may cost a little bit. I know he may, be a bit expensive, but realistically, I don't think he's going to cost anywhere near what people are suggesting that he's going to cost. There's an awful lot of supposition around, the price. What's the price of Abdalah Seamer? You look at him and you do a bit of background research into his deal. And, I know what Brighton paid for him. I understand that. And I get that 100% understand. But you can only get what a player is worth at that point in time. Now, yet he's showing some good form in Scotland. His transfer market value is around 7 million, which I think, is entirely understandable. 10 goal contributions in 16 Scottish Premiership games, which is pretty outstanding. You go back to the fact that Brighton paid £8 million for him. But the thing you've got to take into account when you think about prices for players and prices, his market value, is that he is out of contract in May 2024. So next year he is out of contract. And it is a situation where, Brighton are not going to get a king's ransom for him. Nobody is going to go out and pay in January 7, 8, 10, 15 million for a player who can walk at the end of 2024. Sorry, no, his contract, I do apologize, I got that wrong. His contract is out of date on the 30th of June 2025. It's not next year, it's the year after. So my apologies. He's only got, a limited time to run. Now, even next summer, you're not going to get 12, 15, 20 million pounds for a player that goes out of contract the next summer. It just doesn't happen. It's just not, it's not a thing, because clubs will just go, well, actually, you know what? You can keep him. We're not going to pay that. We'll wait till next summer and then we'll have him for nothing. So there is, I think, a deal to be done. The discussion, around it is that the negotiations have already begun. Abdalah Seamer can, in fact, help force that move through. If he really is that he does love playing here, that he wants to be here, he can help force through this move. It's all going to come down to numbers. I just hope we can come to some mutual agreement between Brighton and Rangers for the transfer of Abdalah Seamer. The guy is different class. I am unfortunately feeling a little bit of Tillman about this. I do worry a little bit that he is Tillman-esque and that he may not come back. But the hope has got to be that his loyalty and the fact that he seems to love playing for the club will help force through that move. Certainly one I definitely want back next season. I was also very impressed with this young man today, Dujon Sterling. He came on and played in a place that was, or yesterday, sorry. He came on and played in a place that was unfamiliar to him. He's a right back, he's a left back. He's certainly not a defensive midfield player. But you look at it and you think, I tell you what, he did really well there. Yes, he gave away that free kick on the edge of the area, which Dundee messed up. But overall, really good performance. Solid, tackled well, tracked back, got forward. The shot that he had as well, he was nearly brought down, he tripped, he gets back to his balance, runs, cuts in on the right foot, slams it, hits the post, so unlucky. If that goes in, it's an absolutely outstanding finish. So, look, at the end of the day, I thought he did really well. I thought that he gave a very convincing performance on Wednesday night when he came on and played left back. I thought he did well at defensive midfield. Philippe Clement talked about the fact that he can play right back, left back. He can play wing as well. That's another thing. Play as a wing back as well. He is very flexible in where we use him. And, Philippe Clement spoke after the game about, him getting more minutes and getting more time on the field. And that's certainly something I'd like to see, is him get the chance to play, whether it's at left back on Thursday night over Borna Barisic, who was terrible today, or whether it's, in midfield on Thursday, because we are so desperately short. Cifuentes, I suppose, can play Thursday night, but in the League Cup final, no Jack, no Raskin. Cifuentes is probably going to be suspended. Lawrence is out injured. This for me is a great opportunity for Sterling to come in and really nail down a place in this team. And he looks very good today indeed. If we look at the table as it sits tonight, obviously Now, Rangers and Celtic play the same number of games. Obviously, they play their game tomorrow, so we'll move back a game ahead of us. We've got to hope that Killy can do us a favour tomorrow. Celtic sit top on 42. Rangers close the gap to 5 points now. There's 3 defeats, though, under Michael Beale's tenure do look really, really damaging. That is the only concern against Killy, Celtic and Aberdeen. St Mirren in the third, still on 25 points. Hibs fourth on 24. Hearts, who lost, unfortunately, to Aberdeen today, 23. Kilmarnock 6th on 20. Dundee 7th on 18. Ross County 8th on 17. Aberdeen 9th on 16. And so on. So look, it's closing down. It's closing down. And if we can win at Parkhead, that comes down to 2. And then it's all to play for. Rangers are going into a critical time for fixtures. Obviously, as we know, we've got a massive game Thursday where whether we stay in the Europa League or not comes down to the fact that can we go to Seville and get a result? We'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. Then it's obviously the cup final, massive game. We'll obviously have more of a feature on that as we build up to that throughout the week. Then it's the first of our what will be our 2 games in hand. Because obviously Celtic play Hearts on the Saturday the 16th of December, so they play before us. So we'll be back to a game gap between us, or 2 games back actually, 2 games gap before we go into the game against St Johnstone, which is the first of our games in hand at Ibrox on Wednesday the 20th, another must win, and then Christmas Eve a game at 12 o'clock against Motherwell at Fir Park, another must win. So 4 really big vital games that we've got to have 4 victories out of. There is no more excuses for this team. You know, touching on Real Betis today, they played at home against Real Madrid, who are top of La Liga, and they looked very good. Apparently, they defended stoutly, got a 1-1 draw with a 66th minute equaliser from their right back Rubal. Played well by all accounts, had some good opportunities. Actually, had the best chance to win it in the second half. So it is going to be a very, very tough game at their stadium on Thursday night. You know, they are no mugs, and they're going to want to win themselves after their defeat to Sparta the other Europa League match day. It will be a tough game. That 1-1 draw, like I said, against a Madrid team that have got some real talent, including obviously the guy who scored the goal for them tonight, Jude Bellingham. It is a creditable result, a very creditable result, and certainly to show that Rangers will need to be at their very, very best to get anything out of that game on Thursday. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for today. This is the Sunday Supplement. Please, obviously, continue to help support the channel. Let's continue to help boost those subscriber numbers. We do want to get to 4K by the 31st of December. Your support to this point has been utterly phenomenal, and I love you to bits for it all. And the lives are amazing with your comments, your live chat comments. It's just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for your support. It does mean the absolute world to me. Thank you so much. So, guys, on the way out, as always, I'm going to ask you 2 things. I'd love you to do. Number 1, smash the like. It helps the video to grow. And number 2, always remember, never forget, we are the people.